Hello, everyone. This is Kim Polk. I am the Marketing and Media Director here with Passages of the Western Potomac. And welcome to our mini grant webinar today. We are just going to kind of go over all the basics of what a mini grant is, who the heritage area is, and see if you guys can benefit from our heritage area mini grant program, which we do every year. So we're just going to go ahead and get started and go through these slides. If you have questions, feel free to stop me and we can discuss anything that you want to ask. Okay, so what is a mini grant? A lot of folks don't know what the heritage area is and they don't know what a mini grant is. So we're going to start there. With what a mini grant is. So mini grants are smaller non-capital grants that are awarded at the local heritage area level. So I always tell folks this is the biggest benefit, in my opinion, to the mini grants is that they are all kept and managed on the local level. So you have a direct local representative to help you. And for folks who have not written grants in the past, that's a real benefit. And it's a great way to start off grant writing. If you've not done so and you're not familiar, doing a mini grant to start off with is a great first step because they are smaller and you do have that local support, which is very, very rare. If for anybody who is familiar with grants, you'll know how true that is. So mini grants are intended to support economic growth in the heritage area through heritage tourism. So our goal is always to attract tourists, specifically heritage tourists, to the area to, ultimately spend their money and visit our heritage sites and, probably branch out and do other things while they're here. That's always the goal of a mini grant. Mini grants must encourage the preservation of historical, archaeological, natural, or cultural resources within the heritage area. And they support local heritage area themes and mission. So at the Passages of the Western Potomac, our themes really revolve around the C&O Canal, the transportation here in Cumberland. Some of our heritage sites are, George Washington's headquarters, of course, the trails and the C&O Canal and the train station, that whole kind of theme around transportation is what we are based on. And you can get a lot more in depth with that if you want by visiting our website and learning all about the themes that we have set in place. So who and what? Who can apply for mini grants? So that is nonprofit organizations and local jurisdictions. So, towns, cities, any of the local established jurisdictions, and then any nonprofit, if you have, your nonprofit status, you are eligible to apply for mini grants with the heritage area. Funding that is available is $500 to $5,000 and all projects are non-capital. So to explain the match, grant funds require a one-to-one cash match. So if your project is a $1,000 project, that would mean you would be requesting a $500 mini grant and your organization or jurisdiction, whichever the case may be, would match that with $500 cash. That's how that works. Grants may support projects, programming, events, studies, and research. We'll get into that a little bit more in detail later in the presentation to give you a better idea of what kind of projects can qualify for mini grant funds. Grantees must be located in a heritage area boundary. That's a little tricky. We do have a small boundary right now that is kind of we're going to get to it on the next slide, but we are kind of down here at Canal Place, downtown Cumberland, Washington Street. There's a map that we'll show you how to use, but we are looking at an expansion, in which case If that is adopted by the state, our entire county would become a heritage area, which opens up a tremendous amount of opportunities for a lot more nonprofits and local jurisdictions within Allegheny County. So we're excited about that and hope that we can make that happen for everybody here in Allegheny County in the coming future. So again, this is just a more detailed way to find the boundaries of your specific heritage area. So that link will take you to what we call the Medusa map. And that map, has a lot of layers. So in order to navigate this, you will see there's a tab here. I have it circled with red, layers. That is what you want to click on in order to get down to other MHT base. I can't read it. Data, I believe is what that says. So you're going to click that, and then you're going to get another drop down, and you're going to click Maryland Heritage Areas. Sometimes this map will populate with all of those things checked, in which case the map looks crazy. So if you pull up the map and it looks crazy, that's probably because all of these other options have defaulted to a check mark in the box. So just uncheck those until you just have heritage areas checked. Once you do that and the map is populated with just heritage areas, you will see a lot of pink lines. Those pink lines are the boundaries in specific heritage areas. And you can zoom into that map really, really far. And you're going to want to do that because it'll show you down to streets, in our case, canals, whatever the case may be. You can really, really, really zoom in. And that's what you need to do in order to really see what you need to see and for it to be specific. So if this is a challenge for you, certainly give us a call here and we can help you work through that map. In our heritage area, honestly, we can probably just tell you if you're in the boundary and prevent you from having to use the map. Now, whenever we go countywide, we really wouldn't have boundaries, which would be really nice for folks. It wouldn't be nearly as confusing. So hopefully that's coming. So the devil's in the details, which is true with all grants. Our grant is no different. So here are some of the things that you're going to want to be cognitive of when applying for your mini grant. Applicants must be in good standing with the state of Maryland to qualify. If you're not in good standing, there's no sense in even applying. So save yourself the time and headache. The awarded project may not begin until the official award is made by the heritage area, meaning you may get an unofficial confirmation from somebody here saying, hey, we've got your mini grant application, looks good, everything, is a go. You're going to receive a formal official award notice via email in writing from the heritage area. That is your official start date of your mini grant. You do not want to begin purchasing things or doing anything that you want on that grant to be included on that grant prior to that official award notice. So be cognitive of that email coming through. You must include the passages of the Western Potomac and Maryland Heritage Areas Authority logos on all printed materials that acknowledge their contribution to your grant. And there is also some verbiage that is sent to you in addition to be used with those logos. So whenever possible, and I put that in there kind of as a little caveat because sometimes, say for example, with marketing pieces, if the logo is going to have to be so small, a lot of digital advertising sometimes is very, very small. And if that's the case, sometimes we will forego the logos and just have you put in the disclaimer. So we do ask that you send us whatever the printed material is to review. And then if we see that the logos are just going to really become dots, we'll let you know, look, we approve this without the logos, but we would ask that you use the verbiage that we've sent you. So sometimes it can go either way, and we'll guide you as to which direction we would like you to go with that. Applicants must comply with all reporting and guidelines set forth by the Heritage Area and Maryland Heritage Areas Authority to receive payment of grant. That's no different than any other grant. You've got to follow the guidelines that are set forth. We do have our guidelines available in their entirety on our website. So you can go there anytime and refer back to them. And, I would encourage you to do that if you have any questions. Obviously, you can contact us directly. Again, that's a benefit of having, local representation for a grant that you can just pick up the phone or send an email and ask a question and get a pretty prompt answer to. And then matching funds may not include any state-to-state funds. So you can only include public and or private funds. And that's what you would use towards your matching funds. So pretty much everything's game except for state-to-state funds. So if you have a state grant coming from somewhere else, and you're using those grant funds towards the same project, it doesn't matter that it's going to the same project. It's state-to-state and can't be used. So just know that, you don't want to get into a predicament where you are struggling in the middle of your grant to come up with matching funds because you were planning on using another state grant that doesn't qualify. So just, be aware of that and make sure you have your matching funds situated. And, the Heritage Area will gladly tell you, if your matching fund source is, gonna work or not. Timing is everything, isn't it, with everything in life? But grants. So grants are awarded on a first come, first served basis. So the sooner the better. Obviously, as the grant cycle continues, the money gets, fewer and fewer. So obviously, it's always a good idea to apply early in order to make sure that we get, we have the funds to support your project. Final reports are due no later than May 31st of 2024 for this year. However, you can submit your final report as soon as your project is complete. So if you are getting in at the beginning of the grant round and your project is going to happen within 3 or 4 months, you certainly do not need to wait until May 31st. You do not want to do that, number one, because you won't get your money until May 31st. So the sooner you can get your final report in, the sooner funds can be dispersed to you and you can, pay for your project. Do not begin your project until you have an official award notice. We discussed that a little earlier. That's really important. Expend all grant funds by May 15th of 2024. And then mini grants are normally announced each year in late summer to early fall. The sooner you apply, the more time you will have to complete your project. So we do our mini grants on a first come, first served basis until the funds are exhausted. That being said, if you don't come to us until March, your funds still have to be expended by May 15th to be exact. So you have a lot smaller window of opportunity to complete your project. So obviously having your plan in place ahead of time, watching for the mini grant announcement in the late summer, early fall, and getting on it right away is always going to benefit you in the long run. So again, we briefly went over this, but this is a little bit more in depth of the types of projects that you can apply for mini grant funds to help with. So under programming, seminars, conferences, performances, reenactments, commemorations, and festivals. We certainly have a lot of all those things in Allegheny County. So, if you're planning a festival. There's a lot of things that can fall under that. Excuse me. Performances, you can pay the performers. Conferences, you can pay for speakers. Seminars, same thing. So if you have, specific things that you are not sure of, obviously you can just give us a call and we can discuss them. Planning, so under planning, feasibility and planning studies, design documents, research and data recovery, interpret. I have a dry office, sorry. Interpretive exhibits, interpretive signage, wayfare signage, pedestrian only, and interpretive brochures. So that's again, if you have something that you don't see on this list, we're happy to talk to you about it because, there's a lot of things that can fall under these umbrellas that obviously we don't have listed here. So this is just a list of just a very small list of some of the recipients and projects that the Pastures of the Western Potomac Heritage Area have funded in the past. And really, this is just provided to you to give you an idea of what people are using mini grants for and the types of projects that they have been able to fund through our program. And you'll see, there's a wide variety here of organizations and a wide variety of projects. So, again, if you are on the fence about something that you are looking for funding for, we're happy to talk to you about it and just figure out together if it qualifies. So these are sample budgets. We also have a sample budget outline for you provided in the application so that you can just, fill in the blanks basically. But these are two that are, the blanks are filled in so that you can see, a true example of how funds would be placed and how they might, pan out if you had one is marketing brochures example and the other is performers. So on the left there, you'll see, a design fee of 200, a printing expense of 300, and then those are both under grant funds. So this person has asked for $500 in grant funding, and then they have provided their match through mail-in expense, distribution expense, and digital transfer expense, all totaling $500 as well, which gives them a total of $1,000 spent on this particular project. And then to the right there, you'll see a sample budget of what somebody has paid for performances. So apparently they've had an event and they've paid for multiple singers and bands. You'll see that they have paid 3 different groups or a singer a total of $800. And then they have matched those funds with stage rental, audio rentals, and marketing support, totaling $800 for a total of $1,600 for that project. So that's what your budget might look like. Of course, we rounded all those numbers and we made it very clean. It isn't always that clean, but I think you get the idea. It is not, $500 to $5,000 is not a tremendous size grant by any stretch. So the budget, is pretty easy to navigate with those kind of numbers. So, but happy to help with anything that you come across. If you think you've spent some money that can be applied to matching, but you're not sure, again, that's why we're here locally and we can help you through that process. So what would be next? We would discuss your project with you just to be sure that you qualify. Our application is not too contingent, but we don't want you wasting your time if you're not in the heritage area or you are not a local jurisdiction or a nonprofit or, whatever the case may be. we don't want you to fill out the application, gather all your stuff, waste your time if you're not going to qualify. So we always suggest just reaching out to the Heritage Area directly and letting us, just have a quick conversation with you. We don't need any documentation, nothing like that. We just basically have a conversation to make sure that you're going to qualify and you're not going to waste your time on the application process. So then you would want to review the grant guidelines in more detail, and you obviously can go to the website for that. Link is provided. It is under news and events. Scroll to the bottom for the guidelines, the application, and the final report template. That's all found on the website under news and events. Then you're going to want to gather all the documentation needed to submit your application so that you have everything, together in one place. And you can, check the boxes as you go, making sure that you've provided everything that you're asked for. And then you're going to submit your application to the Heritage Area. And there's your email that you're going to do that. Again, our application is on the website, guidelines, and the report template, none of which is incredibly difficult or too involved or in the world of grants. So I think you will be pleasantly surprised if you have not done any grants to date. I think, again, this is a great one to start with because it's not incredibly time consuming or involved like some definitely are. So okay, and then to just to stay connected with us. So maybe you sat in on this today just to get the information. You don't basically, you don't have a project this year. You wanted the information, that kind of thing. We just encourage you to stay connected with us so that when we're releasing grants. We also share a lot of other funding opportunities for people in our area, organizations in our area. So, you should follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. We use those platforms for a lot of, informative information. You can sign up on the website for our newsletter, which we would also encourage you to do just to stay, informed of what we're doing here at Passages and, keep abreast of what we've got going on because, some things we do every year and then, there are funding opportunities that just kind of pop up that we don't know about in advance. And, we share that information as best we can to all of, everybody in the community and, hope that people can take advantage of whatever's out there. That's why those things are made available. So, again, my name is Kim Folk and I am the Marketing and Media Director here and happy to help with any questions that anybody has about mini grants or the Heritage Area in general. And I'll take questions if anybody has any. Okay, well, I must have done a great job. So anyhow, this video will be available to review again on our YouTube site, and it will be on our Facebook. The link to the YouTube will be on our Facebook and on our website. However, we are going through an update on our website, so it might not be immediate, but it will be available soon on our website. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call, or you can answer a lot of questions on the website. We do have a lot of information and resources for you there as well. So I hope that was helpful, and I hope everybody has a great day. And actually, I hope everybody has a good holiday because that's coming right around the corner. So thank you for listening, and hopefully we'll be hearing from you about some great projects. Thanks. Have a great day.